All right, hey everybody, the Construction Dirt Podcast back again. Jeff and Cam Roy here over on location today. On location today.
International.
We are in Las Vegas. Beautiful, sunny, kind of cloudy today. Las Vegas for the World of Concrete show. Always a good time down here. Jeff, you've been having a good time? Yeah, it's been a good show.
Yeah, reconnect with people, seeing all the innovative new products out there. Looking at some of the stuff we have.
Seeing all the people.
Yeah.
Seeing all the people. Getting together with all of our industry colleagues from across essentially North America and Mexico, Dominican, Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it's been fun. Which leads us to our special guest today.
Absolutely.
We currently have Jonas DeWeber. Jonas DeWeber. I even got it wrong. I even practiced it in my head.
We did have a conversation about how you properly pronounce it.
Yeah, it's like a barbecue. It's like a barbecue. So Jonas DeWeber is currently with Nox-Crete for the chemicals and construction, concrete, accessories, and miscellaneous items that you may need. Jonas, how's the show been for you?
The show's been good. It's always a gauntlet, you get here Sunday, you do committee meetings and set up on Monday, and then, customers start showing up Monday night, and then show, and then customers want to go to dinners, and it's a gauntlet, but it's a good gauntlet. This is how you maintain the relationship.
For sure.
It's good.
Yeah, I always hear that obviously everyone from all over North America, the world, come here. So then all your customers are here, all your clients, distributors, everyone's here in the same area. So somewhat easier in a way to see everyone other than you meetings after meeting after dinner after event. The gauntlet of it. So
is this one of the bigger ones for you, or which, because you guys go to everything.
We do a lot.
We got show. You're at
TCA.
TCA.
I would think in the total number of people, just the world of concrete as a whole is so big anyways.
For sure.
But this is definitely one of the bigger ones that we, as a company and as a team, that we attend.
Yeah.
And it's a good one. It's just, you feel it at the end of the week.
For sure.
You feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not anymore.
I'm not even working a booth, and I feel it.
So Jonas, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been at Nox-Crete.
I'm going on 8 years with Nox-Crete. I hired on with Nox-Crete in June of 2017 to be the regional sales manager for the Pacific Northwest at the time.
Okay.
And it was my territory composed basically Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Utah. I did that for a number of years, and then got into a new position with Nox-Crete, which afforded me to relocate to Omaha, Nebraska. So my wife and I moved out there in October of 2021.
Yeah.
And we've been out there ever since.
Sweet.
And love it.
Yeah.
Nebraska, Omaha's a great place. It's not good enough for people to move to. We already have enough. Great place to visit.
So you're on obviously the manufacturer side.
Yes.
And we have a relationship with you guys and yourself, obviously, and everybody else over there on your chemical stuff, but we don't actually buy from you.
No, you don't.
We buy through a distributor.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting relationships. And you guys kind of navigate through different waters with different distributors in different areas of North America and the world of concrete. So how does that go for you, or how do we talk a little bit about that?
At the end of the day, I think our perspective is we don't care where you buy from as long as you buy.
Yeah.
Right? Don't get me wrong. Distributors play a huge important role in our industry, and they play a huge important part for us. And our relationships with our distributors are incredibly important.
For sure.
And they're important to us, and we value those guys.
Yep.
But I also think it's a different side of the same coin, right? That relationship with the distributors is a side of a coin that is very important to us. But that coin, when we flip it over, it's that relationship with the end user, guys like you, your company, and establishing that relationship and helping you guys on your project. Because when you think about a distributor and all the products that they sell, they might have 10,000 SKUs in their system and 100,000 SKUs in their catalog that they can order from.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be experts in it. They're not going to know the dynamics of every product that they sell. And so the relationship with the manufacturer, it's what we do.
Yeah.
At Nox-Crete, we have a team. We have a team of our sales guys they have what we call a division. So they become the subject matter expert on forming materials, our form oils. There's a tilt-up division manager. There's a decorative, right? We have guys that their whole job and their expertise is strictly on that one division of product. And so that's when you get down into the technical, right? When you need the help on the technical side, that's where the importance of having that relationship with your manufacturers I personally believe is really vital.
Yeah.
So when do you get involved? Like, you like seeing it prior to even specs being written? Where do you get in for, I'll say, your education piece?
Well, I think there's two answers to that. On a job, like to get there while you guys are bidding it, right? Like you guys, maybe the specs are written, but you guys are okay. We're going to bid this, and you have defined your scope or your role in that work and exactly what you're going to do, what you're going to send to other people, and then in that we like to take a look at your specs, see what's written, maybe ask some questions of schedule, like what is your plan for this? How are you doing that? Oh, did you know if you do it this way, you're not? This is going to cause you to do something else differently down the line, and get in there early, and then present a group of products that we believe not only will meet your specifications, but will exceed your specifications of the products that they're asking for.
Yep.
And then sorry, Cam, but what about on the troubleshooting end? Say we have a project where using some of your chemicals, and we have something pop up on the site where it's not working so well, or so is that more reliant on the distributor?
No, call us.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, we want to run to the problem, right? If there is an issue, if there's a technical thing, the last thing I want to do is get into you guys remember the old telephone game? Right? As a kid, right? Right? That game where after four people, I don't want the message to change. Right? Because the distributor and their importance, they're not going to really know. Some of them will. They've got some really good guys out there, but I think it's really important. Like, hey, we got this. Call us. We're coming. And you guys have seen that. We've done that for you guys. If we can't get there, like ASAP, photos, pictures, emails, whatever it is, because we want people to trust that not only are you buying our product, but you get our service, you get our expertise. Sometimes it's maybe you screwed up, and sometimes, whoops, maybe we screwed up, right? But we're willing to share in the investigation.
For sure. And getting to the table with those people to really dive into like what happened and what's going on. And I mean, that's the manufacturer's aspect right there, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think at Nox-Crete, we do a really good job of just becoming concrete nerds.
Yeah.
We do.
But that's how you guys started the history of it, right? Like it's science
chemical
creation.
Nox-Crete has a really unique history. Our founder, Carl Lynn, was friends with Peter Kiewit. And I'll share a little bit of the story of how we were founded. And Peter Kiewit, at the time, was a big paving contractor. That was it, pretty much through the Midwest. And they were having conversation at a social event. And Peter basically asked him, can you make me a form oil that doesn't stain my concrete? And this was in 1956. Carl went, let me do some investigating, and realized that at the time, there was no national manufacturing. No one was making one. I mean, people, for the most part in the industry, were using whatever they could get their hand, diesel, hydraulic oil. Maybe they were cutting all three of them together. And our first product we ever launched from that joint venture with the contractor, right, is a product called foam coating. We still make it today. And that's still, I think, our mindset, our history of our company is that we still create products based upon the need of the contractor and the job, not a me too, right? We create products working with our contractors. We send product out. Hey, are you guys willing to test it for us? It's a new product for us.
And specific, like battling specific items too.
Yeah.
So like, you talk about, like the form oil, or you talk about, recently the stage 1.
The type 1L cement and the challenges
but just specifically like battling each individually, not just saying, hey, here's a form oil, call it a day. Like really diving into what's the issue, what needs to get solved, and how can we battle it specifically, right?
Absolutely. I think that's a real vital role in that contractor end user manufacturing relationship.
For sure.
Is that on the manufacturing side, we sometimes, actually most of the time, we see when a big change is coming. We're following it, we're tracking it. And I can, from experience, down here in the States, when 1L hit, there were a lot of guys that a lot of big contractors that didn't even know what 1L was.
Yeah.
It just showed up. Yeah. Why is my concrete right? And so I think that's where that relationship with your manufacturing partners are so important. We're tracking that.
Yeah.
We're going to have conversations with you ahead of time.
And the education piece.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you guys, we might not know everything about it. I know a little bit, enough to poke around on it, but that education piece, because you guys are right in the thick of it. You're right in the weeds of battling through, what certain issues the industry is facing and how you guys are putting it together, right? So
yeah, it is. I mean, that part is still so intricate into Nox-Crete and just what our culture is on how we do products. As an example, when plywood mills are testing new overlays for forming, right?
Yeah.
They'll ship them out to us. Yeah. Say, hey, do you guys mind running some tests? using your guys' products in concrete, and tell us what you see, what you're getting, and then we feed that back to them. And that's been we've been doing that for 30 plus years with those guys.
Yeah. No, it's funny you said that, because when your colleague Jeff was up in our area, he was visiting the lumber mills, and I was just like,
I remember that too.
You guys going to the lumber mills for? He's like, this is our main business up here in BC, and I come up all the time. We sell it to, and I was like, wow, I thought you guys
whole other side of it,
just in the construction industry.
Yeah, we're in a very fortunate position that almost every North American plywood manufacturer that manufactures MDO, various types of MDO, almost every one of them pre-treat that form surface when it leaves their facility with a Nox-Crete product.
Wow.
And then almost all of them, as an industry, say if you want to maximize your pour life and this plywood to work the way it's designed, you should probably use Nox-Crete on it. Yeah, it's a very nice place to be. Even though products might be composed of the same chemical compounds, okay, that doesn't mean they're manufactured in the same way. It doesn't mean their manufacturing processes are in the same way. And in your guys' realm of tilt-up, with just the liquid liability of a panel stick, or that is, I think that risk is too great for you guys to run the risk of saying, well, we'll use this versus that, or we'll use save a couple bucks at the end of the day. With us at Nox-Crete, our perspective on compatibility is we know not only what's in all of the products, we know 100% the way they perform, how they will perform and how they won't perform. We know their manufacturing processes, and we know they're going to work together because we test them to work together. We don't control the other guys' processes, and so that's not a risk we're willing to take.
For sure, and it's becoming more and more of a topic because of all the issues that we're running into, and then people solving them with certain chemicals or certain procedures and things like that. So you're talking about densifiers, hardeners, evaporation retarders, like. You're talking about densifiers, hardeners. You're talking about sealers. You're talking about bond breakers. Like, there's more and more of these items getting utilized. And if you're just going off the shelf and grabbing something, who knows? You might have a compatibility issue.
You very well could.
For sure.
I mean, if you look at just tilt-up alone, bond breakers are defined as reactive agents, right? Because they react with the calcium hydroxide in the slab. And you got someone that wants to do a densifier before we put the bond breaker down. Is there a potential for a problem? Could be, because the densifier wants calcium hydroxide. The cement is consuming calcium hydroxide to make calcium silicate hydrate, right? So being able to understand that you have products that could be in competition of the exact same thing, and how does that going to affect how your bond breaker lays down or how this lays down?
It goes right back to that manufacturer versus distributor question. So you call the distributor and you're like, hey, I need a finishing aid, or I need an evaporation reducer.
Yeah, we stock X, and I do Y.
Here's
what I got.
Z, right?
Yeah.
But it's getting back to that, talking to those manufacturers directly, and just understanding what they have, what the products have, and specifically the compatibility aspect. Right?
Absolutely, strictly the compatibility aspect of it is, and thinking of as a manufacturer, and thinking of when we are looking at how products work together, right? And you look at the overall investment into one of your guys' tilt-ups. I kind of look at it, I personally kind of look at it as, if I buy a Ferrari, I'm going to take the Ferrari to the Ferrari dealership or a licensed Ferrari mechanic to get my oil changed, right? I'm not taking it to Walmart to get my oil changed. And that's these projects. I mean, the cost of sticking a panel or something is more than a Ferrari. But there is a mindset at times out there where it's just like, I only buy on price per gallon. And if that guy's 50 cents more a gallon than this product is, I'm going with this one. And it's just like, why run that risk? Right? Because if you go with it doesn't have to be Nox-Crete. I mean, if you're a Dayton guy, you're great. But the idea of running all the products, because that manufacturer knows how those products work with each other. For sure. They know what to look for. And they'll see, like, whoa, why do you got this product on this project? Because that product doesn't go with the other stuff.
I was going to say, project specific stuff. Even regions, or like Canada using LVOC. And
absolutely. You find most of the troubleshooting when you guys get called in is because of a compatibility issue, or is it more product wasn't used right, either too much, too little?
It's definitely not. We have seen some issues in the past with compatibility, but that's not a big play.
Okay.
I think the big play a lot of times is in application.
Okay.
That's a big part of it. As you guys well probably know, you've seen some over application of bond breaker in your life, right? Misunderstanding of how a product works, just using the wrong product. Even though it might be compatible, it's not the right product in that situation. And I also think that there is some technical sides on the new 1Ls where an issue has been erased, not necessarily by anything other than not understanding the mix design that we're putting material now on.
Yeah.
So now Jonas as strategic account manager.
Yep.
Did I get that right?
You did.
Yeah. Are you finding yourself more on the site, office environments, or going to the distributors' offices? Like, what's your kind
mainly sites and offices?
Yeah.
I do a lot of trainings. I do a lot of technical trainings for our strategic accounts. I do a lot of hands-on demonstrations, not only just with product, but then training guys on how to do it right, or at least the way we'd like you to do it. Not, some people won't say it's right, but it's the way we like to do it. And that at the end of the day, I think my ultimate job is obviously to sell Nox-Crete products, but is to build and establish working relationships with the end users.
Right.
And said, if look, anything, just we'll
figure it out.
The distributor doesn't need to be involved. Just give me a call because they're going to call me anyway. So let's just cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Distributors are an important part. I'm not
for sure
not bad.
Yeah, but it goes back to what you said at the start. They just, in fairness, there's too many products for them to be as knowledgeable on each specific one. And, some are a couple bolts and screws that are on the shelf, well, not as critical to compatibility issues or things like that. Where when you get into the chemicals,
it gets important. Yeah, and you think about the distributor rep. I mean, say they have a book of business that's 40 to 50 customers, right? Well, that 40, 50 customers might have 10 or 15 jobs apiece. Mm-hmm. And every single one of those are trying to get a moment of that guy's time. And he's busy. And he just doesn't have the time to dive in like we do.
Yeah. Does it surprise you sometimes when you meet contractors that might not be as educated as you think they should be? Or
yes,
yeah,
yes. There was one that here most recently that really surprised me, and I'm not going to say when, where, or who.
Yeah.
We were on a big flat slab.
Yeah,
hot summertime. Luckily for us, at the time that the roof was erected, but there was going to be an insulated metal panel building. It was 57,000, 60,000 square feet of flat slab. And using Type 1L, the place and finish contractor knew for him, and it was his first time, so he just didn't quite understand it. And then we start at 1 o'clock in the morning pouring, and they don't get off that slab with their trowels until about 2:30 in the afternoon. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, about the time they got off the top, right? And so they're waiting for it to get hard so they can pop chalk lines and do their saw cuts and all this. And then about 7 p.m., they're just getting the chalk lines started to cut. And at that point, the superintendent that was running that place and finish customer, it was 7 p.m. at night. We started at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What is going on here?
And he goes, hey, do you think it'd be cool if we just come back and put the carrying compound down tomorrow? As in 48 hours after you started the process?
Yeah.
That probably wouldn't be a good idea.
No.
Right? So just the understanding of just why we do things, right? Like there are guys out there that are really good with their hands and really good with the product and can make it do a lot of really cool things. But then there are some guys out there that just don't understand why you put a carrying compound down.
And going back to that education piece, I think it's just so important.
It is
to contact, and get in touch with the manufacturer for that educational aspect, even if it's not even to do with your product, but just to talk about the varieties around the product, the items that it gets into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny because for me, it's a no-brainer. I go down rabbit holes all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, we're very much the same way that way, right? But it's just interesting to, being here and seeing people and meeting people and, they just, I just do this. I was like, oh, you ever thought about doing this? Or you ever looked at this? Oh, no, that's crazy. And,
right.
Yeah, it's interesting. So again, that educational piece, I think is just so important from a manufacturer standpoint.
Yeah, and
it's big.
And on the manufacturer side, at least at Nox-Crete, our manufacturing side is we want to do it right.
Yeah.
Just right.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't get the sale because the end user doesn't want to do it according to spec, ACI and all that other stuff, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with saying, it might work or cross my fingers type of deal.
If it's not going to go, it's not going to go, and it is what it is.
I would rather lose. I'd rather lose jobs because we stand for a higher we have a little bit of integrity behind what we're doing. Like, we can't do that. It won't work type of deal.
I mean, that's straight up, industry advocacy, to be completely honest with you, right? Like, you're just looking to see good buildings go up done the right way.
Yeah. And I think as is for you guys, that relationship that you have with your manufacturers is vital, right? And we touched on it a little earlier, but concrete industry, the concrete we're getting is changing so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all playing catch up. The manufacturers are playing catch up to what the cement associations are doing. You guys are playing even behind catch up. And it's your experiences in your catch up process and our experience in our catch up process. Somewhere we meet in the middle, right? And that you can guide us on the things that you need, and we can guide you on some, like, well, I don't know if that's going to work. Like there's
collaboration.
Absolutely. There's a collaboration that makes things successful.
Yeah.
The joy of traveling a little bit with Mitch, your colleague, and just when we're meeting with contractors and designers and they're talking about projects and like every meeting, Mitch is like, oh, well, we have this product that would do that. And they're like, we didn't even know. And then it just dives right into that.
Yeah, Nox-Crete, we are a bit of a victim of our own success from time to time. I mean, everybody if you're involved in tilt up in any manner, you have heard of the Nox-Crete bond breakers and Coastal Select and those, right? It's surprising when someone says, you got a cure and seal? You've got curing agents?
Yeah, the products for the floor.
Yeah, the densifiers. You can make densifiers? Yeah, we've made them for a long time. But I mean, and we as a company, that's a focus of ours moving, it's been a plan for a while, is reintroducing Nox-Crete outside of what a bond breaker is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We were at an event years ago in Chicago, and there was a contractor that we ran into that he was just like, he was using Nox-Crete, and he needed some tips and tricks. Yeah. And you were like, oh my goodness, like, you guys using Nox-Crete down there? Like, oh wow, like, this is crazy. Like, it was a large contractor, and I think it's like you say, the victim of your own success. Like, people are just, and that's a big distributor piece where the distributors are fully backing your guys' product, and hey, you want a bond breaker? You should use this one. Like,
absolutely. I mean, the distributors sometimes can bully. They don't want to carry. They want to carry A, maybe carry B, but then they don't want to carry anything else. And then they kind of put you guys as their customer in a tough position where you call up and you say, no, I want this. And they say, I don't have that. I have this. And then but at the end of the day, I think sometimes some of these distributors realize or forget who pays their bills. Whereas the power is really in your hands. Like, if you want them to change as customers, you make them change.
Yeah, or we just have a bat phone that gets us direct to the source. And,
exactly.
That only works. It only goes so far, though. I will tell you that from experience.
It does.
Yeah. It does. You can't change the world with that one. But case in point, I've done that a few times. It's just, no, I want this.
Right. And then it's not just, I want this time.
Yeah.
I want you to have it.
This is
on your shelf.
Yeah. I want to buy it from you. I mean, I'm trying to convince you to take my dollars.
Yeah. That's the funniest part. For sure. No, that's the funniest part.
Absolutely. That is
willing to pay for it. For sure.
So, Jonas, since we're here in Las Vegas, what is one of your hidden gems, places you like to take either a customer or...
Oh, there's got to be a barbecue joint somewhere around here, right?
Actually, one of my hidden, I think there's a couple. One of my favorites to go to, just because I'm on a personal side, I'm a car guy. I love cars. The Shelby Museum.
Okay.
The Shelby America, right over, I think it's off Decatur or Dean or something. Been there a couple times. I'm a big fan of Carroll Shelby. So going in there and seeing, the Mustangs and the 427 AC Shelby Cobras, which were just, I had a poster on my wall as a kid. Yeah, I almost cried at the end of Bad Boys when they wrecked that one.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
That's good. I didn't know you're a car guy.
Yeah.
Guy, so
I love to cook.
Yeah.
I'm not a chef. I'm a cook.
Yeah.
And honestly, it goes back to our topic. Really, why I love to cook. So here at World of Concrete, right?
Yeah.
We take you guys out to dinner. We buy you drinks, and you probably have people you do that for too. At the end of the day, anybody can do that, right? It's not special. Although it might be a great time, and that memory of the time sticks out.
Yeah.
But like I know you, it's another thing when you can bring somebody to your house and you can break bread.
Yeah.
And that person knows that you took a lot of time and effort And if they just look at you and say, damn, that was a good meal. That is, to me, that's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's about that relationship that I can have with my friends.
Yeah.
And-
See, in here, I thought you were going to talk about that time we were minus 20 in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and you're
Iowa City.
Iowa City.
and you're making us
I was making smoked picanha,
right
Philly
before that.
cheesesteak.
Six.
Yeah.
Yeah, football game there. So,
Yeah.
But no, that's why I love to cook.
Same
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. I know you do too.
No, yeah. No, I get a little more like technical on it too, though. Like I thoroughly enjoy like the rabbit hole of like, how does the smoke go over the brisket? How much trim the brisket to make sure the smoke flows from one side to the other?
Yeah.
And like, can we like reverse sear or
For sure.
I'm happy to get the invite over. So
just wait for it. Just cooking on the grill.
One of my closest friends on the entire planet lives here. And so I end up spending a lot of time with here. Like I'll stay the night with him Friday before I go back to Omaha on Saturday. So
Yeah, cool.
but yeah, I mean, I really like the car stuff. I really actually prefer Vegas away from the strip. If I'm not here
I've
for
heard that. Yeah.
just like Vegas is a town that doesn't have, it's weird to walk into a Safeway and see, slot machines and video poker.
Right.
And every bar you go into is got, I mean, that's a little bit different of a culture, but it's in food places. I mean, I think after a while they kind of,
There's a lot of steakhouses.
It's a lot of
steakhouses here. Yeah, a lot of steakhouses here.
Yeah.
A lot.
Did you ever catch any of the shows? Uh-oh.
When my
Sure, show we can't talk about
No. My wife used to come out with me. So she would come out either the weekend before World of Concrete or the weekend after the World of Concrete. And so we tried it one year, the weekend after, came out. We saw some shows, but I was just walking dead, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It's like I had no energy. And then so the next year she came out the weekend ahead of time. And I was a walking zombie going into the World of Concrete. So I had to say, like, honey, I love you, but you can't do this anymore. I can't do this no more. This is too hard. What about you guys? What's your hidden gems?
Oh, wow. I guess I should have been ready for that question.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the chandelier bar in the Cosmo is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a neat spot. I've never actually gotten off the strip before. I've never actually been to Fremont before.
You haven't?
That's on the docket
Fremont
today.
is pretty cool.
That's on the
Fremont's
docket today.
It's pretty cool.
There's that hotel there where there's a water slide that goes through the Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah.
Can't think of
What
the name.
hotel is that? I know what you mean. I've seen it.
Fremont's pretty
Seen
cool.
it on the Instagram.
I mean, we went to Delilah's, that restaurant.
That was a cool experience.
At Wynn the other night, and it's cool. It's like a 30s, 40s kind of thing.
Dinner, I would enjoy that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it was eclectic.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a zip line in Fremont.
There is a zip line in Fremont.
There is. Yeah.
I did the high roller, the little Ferris wheel.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that was cool.
Would that take an hour?
Half hour.
Half hour.
It's a half hour.
It's a pretty cool view from the very top because you see the rest of Las Vegas.
Which is that's what I would strip. I was like, wow.
Forever.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice it? Did you do it daytime or nighttime?
I did it nighttime.
Yeah, I was at night. It
Did
was
you-
like sunset time. I got
You notice Vegas is a grid. Almost every
Yeah.
it was like 90 degree almost every road, every street. You're like, oh, that's how they laid this thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been maybe 4 years ago. I came down with my son. We went from LA, rented a car and drove here. So we followed the Canucks, did a hockey road trip. And for me, it was driving up and down the strip in convertible with my son. Just ripping up and down the strip.
Yeah.
I think for 2 hours. I was like, where are we going? I was like, just back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys a question. As a contractor,
Yeah.
your perspective of the relationship with your manufacturers, how important is that for you?
For me, it's big. We talked about the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I'm a very inquisitive fellow, and I really always like to get down to the nuts and bolts of it. So, what the relationship and the conversations that we have, I have that with like almost every other supplier or manufacturer that we deal with.
So you do lean on them.
Oh yeah, like our ready mix guys.
Yeah, ready mix for sure. That's a big one.
Ready mix is a big one. I mean, concrete specifically because there's a lot of variables there. But you even get into some of the roofing stuff and the structural steel. Talking about column thicknesses, for fire ratings in warehouse buildings. Talking about mezzanine structures. Column slab versus Q-deck and joist. A lot of that stuff. Talking to those people, and a lot of it is stuff that we sub out.
Yeah,
we don't even. Like a place and finish. I'm talking to you about stage one. I buy it because I want the guy to use it.
Right.
But I'm not doing the placing and finishing.
Right.
I'm hiring somebody else to do it. Right.
Yeah.
Talking about, lighting or HVAC systems, I'll touch base with like a Lennox guy or lighting manufacturer. A lot of our car dealership stuff, high-end car dealership stuff, like we'll have conversations with that manufacturer about what does the layout look like, and how does the mounting go, and some tips and tricks for our electrician who's going to do the project. Because like ultimately, from a general contractor standpoint, and I said this a lot this weekend, it's our issue. Like it's our job.
Yeah, and our success is based on their success.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
they're probably not diving into it as much as Cam would on a lot of this stuff. So
yeah.
When we get it set up for success, we provide a better product.
Absolutely.
And
our customers.
Yeah, we were talking. I mean, going down a rabbit hole with the bit of that site print, HP site print, the robot stuff, right? And somebody's talking to me about liability. And like, oh, you're laying it out for this guy, and I was like, well, if he lays it out wrong himself, it's still my issue,
right?
So it doesn't really matter who lays it out. Like, we're going to do some coordination, obviously, on it, but if he goes in there and snaps some chalk lines and lays something out wrong, I can stomp my feet, yell and scream all I want, but it's still my issue. It's still going to fuck my schedule up. It's still going to push everything, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's in my best interest as a general contractor to be able to have that knowledge ahead of time.
I got one more for you. Scheduling. Like when you got to schedule a project. When did the schedule override everything? It seemed like there's been a switch over the last decade or so, where the schedule became the most important thing. Over anything else. And I come from the perspective of an Nox-Crete employee that sometimes we're asked if a product can do something when the physical chemistry that's going on won't allow it to happen. And it's being asked
28-day curing for slab.
Yeah, because they want the schedule right now. We got to go right now. We got to build really fast. And you're like, okay, but we got to wait for other stuff chemistry-wise in the science of the concrete to happen.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, that's an education piece. Yeah. So again, that's going back to having those conversations early on in the project. Utilizing a densifier hardener, with a stain potentially, right? And like, what's that application look like? How quick can I put that down?
The hard thing I find a lot of times the client or the end user doesn't understand how long construction takes sometimes. So it's like, it's going to take you a year to get permits and a year to build this, and not factoring in, well, you need 30 days between this
can't do this.
Can't do it. Like when we did the reno at our office, we put a polished floor down and, put saw cuts under all the walls, but we couldn't touch it for 3 weeks.
Right.
That was different because we were the customer. It was our own building, but
there was an understanding.
We tried it on another dealership, and they're like, "We can't wait 3 weeks." I was like, "Well, then you can't have this."
Right.
Well, we want it. And I was like, "Well, you can't." So it's
that old saying about crapping in one hand and wanting in the other.
The big one too, like I work with all of our supers on is, I call it like the pivot.
Yep.
And so that, my schedule says this, but I should probably do this a little bit earlier, maybe, and I can get it done a little bit earlier to have the 28-day cure before I densify hardener. Or, areas for structural steel, if they have framing going, in an office area, let's get the office area up first. Well, the schedule says the warehouse is first. Well, let's talk to the structural steel contractor and see if we can flip it, because we can pivot and do things. Or we hit a roadblock, we do a lot of renovations and the existing spaces. And sometimes you start take the ceiling down, and the joists need a month of reframe and structural upgrade. And, oh no, I can't get this showroom area done. So let's work on this, but let's push focus to somewhere else.
Right.
And let's pivot to continue the overall project schedule to keep it going. Because it's a huge piece of it.
It is.
Yeah.
You were mentioning earlier to that relationship with the contractor distributor. So I have a little different angle on it, because I also have my Tiger Lock product that I rely on distributors to get it out, but also appreciate sometimes that product they don't understand, and I want to be talking to the customer to be like, no, this is why you use it, this is where it is, this is the application for it, because similar, it gets lost in the SKUs of the product. So,
and I think it gets, and which is unfortunate, as you're your manufacturer of that Tiger Lock. What's unfortunate is the feature and benefit, why it's there. Just that gets lost.
Yeah.
It falls under this, it competes with wood, and it's so much more expensive. The price point thing, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
There's so much more going on than just the cost now. And the thing that I tell customers all the time, look, you have one choice. You have pay now or pay later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Regardless of the product, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have the time or the money to get your oil change, okay. If you run that car out 15,000 miles without an oil change, it's going to...
And oil change is the price of the oil change.
It's probably a tenth of the cost of a new engine in the mechanic, right? But so there's that mentality that we always...
That's where I like Cam, get involved with the manufacturers, because I appreciate that, because being on the road with Mitch and yourself and doing some of these calls and hearing some of the challenges and the conversations of the backstories, I was like, this is a bigger world than I appreciate.
And it is, I will say it's tough for the manufacturers because there is so many customers out there.
Yeah.
You want to have the conversations, but sometimes you just don't know who to have the conversation with, or, even if there's a conversation to be had, because might not know that they're even using your product in some cases. Right. So that's where I always tell, and I had that talk at the Nexus thing in Canada where we were talking about the ready-mix suppliers and the consultants, and I said, they're all open to the conversation, but you got to start it.
Yeah.
You got to go down the rabbit hole. You got to poke around on it. And they're all definitely called manufacturer. Great conversations. They'd love to talk to you. Oh, but you got to, as a contractor, you have to initialize it.
One thing I've always appreciated about you, Cam, is that when we've had our talks about you've got stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's you have a bit of humility to you, and that, which is great. And because you're always there to listen. Because if you call us, I know you got an issue.
Yeah.
But you always listen. You're humble enough to like, I don't understand this. I need help with this.
For sure.
And and I'm sure we've all dealt with guys in our industry that, aren't.
Yes.
Right. They're like, I've been doing this. I already know. I know everything.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, I can't, I don't live that life that way. Like, you can't.
And that is just a dagger to your company and your efficiency and QAQC and
Yeah, we've done some really cool things with you over the last couple of years and great conversations. And I think you and I've made suggestions like, well, why are you doing it that way? Why don't you do this? Yeah. You're like, I didn't even know I could do that.
Yeah.
And that's always been a great part of work. And that's what makes our partnership so great.
For sure.
We really feel at Nox-Crete, like with RAM and you guys, like we know, regardless of where you buy our product from, that relationship is driven and directed by us. Right, by this group. And so, and we value that. That's what we're in this industry for. And to partner with you guys in the projects that you do, to say that we're a part of that and to show that, it's a feather in our cap, man. We love it. We love the relationship that we have with your team and your company.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's
a small little contractor up in Canada, right?
Just a random little contractor up in
doing some tilt-up buildings.
Yeah. It's fun for me to, obviously, Nox-Crete bond breaker, tilt up stuff, massive piece of it. But on my end, I'm always recently looking into why can't we use the densifier hardener on all of our slabs? Why this multi-tenant, structural steel stucco building needs a sealer. We should probably use this good product for the slabs. And so really thinking outside the box, where else could we utilize some of these products on, right?
For sure.
Which I find is, I just enjoy that.
And I think when you, as with you guys, when you start to look at the projects that you have coming, you start to look at some of the things that as a manufacturer we introduce you to, which then you guys can go, well, hold on a minute. Maybe I got a new scope of work I can introduce into my model and not have to sub it out.
Yeah.
Right. Where now we've maybe introduced you to a new revenue stream.
Yeah.
You're like, we can do this. We'll get the guys.
Case in point, the densifier hardener.
Yeah.
It was always if it was a sealer, we can put a sealer on. But anytime somebody said densifier hardener, in my mind, I'm like, oh man,
it's complicated.
I don't know about this, And now we do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
We self-perform all of our densifier hardener installs. I'm not taking away from the guys that do it professionally and do it on a day-to-day basis. But we got it down pat and it's working and it saves us money on the long run. Right?
Yeah, and that's that part of that open dialogue with your manufacturer. That if it wouldn't have been the conversations that you and I had, or you had with Derek, or that you probably would still be going I'll just sub it out. No, we can do this.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's what all we got time for today.
Okay,
but
thank you.
Thank you,
Jonas. Appreciate it.
I also appreciate the avid listener.
That's it. Yeah. Now you'll be waiting for this next episode.
Yeah. Jonas said to us the other day, he says, when's your next episode coming? I says, we just put a couple up before Christmas. He went, I know. I already threw them. When's the next one?
When you fly as much as I do,
you probably.
I just download them. I listen to them on the plane. I love them. I go back to them every now and again.
Honestly, Jonas, that made my day when you said that, because we joke about our kids follow us, and I do know I got a friend at home that he follows as well. So,
I really like your guys' when you bring in guys from the trade.
Yeah,
and then they get to tell their story.
Yeah.
I'm a true fan of your guys' podcast.
So I appreciate that, Jonas.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks everybody for listening, and follow us, subscribe, keep on.
Wait, one more thing.
Uh-oh.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Go Hawks.
Absolutely.
Go Hawks. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.